So, you're about to dive into ACMGN305. Let me tell you, you're not just starting another unit, you're building the very foundation of your entire career in companion animal care. This is all about giving top-notch advice, and today we're going to break down the 5 core principles you absolutely have to nail to succeed. Let's get right into it.
Okay, picture this. A family walks into your workplace and they are buzzing with excitement. They saw a movie, fell head over heels for border collies, and they're ready to get one for their 2-bedroom apartment. What do you say? What's your next move? This isn't just some textbook question. This is the job. And how you respond is going to directly shape the future for that family and that animal.
So, your number one tool in that exact situation: deep animal knowledge. Seriously, this is where it all starts. It goes so much deeper than just being able to point at a dog and say, hey, that's a border collie.
Right. And here's the crucial thing to get. This is not about animal trivia. This is a core professional skill. It means you get the why behind an animal's actions. You understand its biology, its natural instincts, and what it really needs to live a great life, not just get by.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. When you look at that family who wants a border collie, you're not just thinking, oh, a medium-sized dog. No way. You're thinking, that's a high-energy working breed. It needs a ton of mental stimulation. It's probably going to try to herd everything in sight. It needs a job to do. You see the difference? It's a whole other level of understanding.
And this right here is why it matters so much. Because getting this wrong can be absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, think about it. The performance part of this unit actually requires you to advise 5 different clients about 5 different animals. Every single one of those conversations depends on this knowledge to make sure you get it right.
Okay, moving on to our second principle. So, once you've helped a client pick the absolute perfect animal for them, your job's not done. Now you have to give them the tools and the knowledge to take care of it, right, from day one. And that's where husbandry comes in.
You can think of husbandry as the how-to guide for an animal's entire life. It's everything from what you put in its food bowl to what kind of bed it sleeps in. It's the practical, hands-on science of keeping an animal healthy, happy, and thriving.
And this list just shows you how much there is to it. You know, can you explain my puppy food is different from adult dog food? Can you walk someone through, step by step, how to introduce a brand new kitten into a home that already has a cat? These aren't just little tips and tricks. They are essential instructions for any new pet owner.
Wow, this quote is so powerful because it's just so direct and true. If you don't know this stuff, you can't teach it. And if the client doesn't learn it from you, the animal is the one who pays the price. Your knowledge is literally a lifeline to that animal's well-being. All right, we know our animals, we know how to care for them. But you know what? None of that matters if we can't actually connect with the human being standing right in front of us. And that brings us to the third principle, the absolutely critical skill of client communication. The most important words on this slide are true needs. Clients will often come in with something they want, like that family wanting the border collie. Your job is to be a kind of detective, to use your communication skills to figure out what they actually need for their life.
So how do you do that? How do you get past that initial request and get to the real story? Well, it all comes down to the types of questions you're asking.
This slide is a total game changer. Think about it. Asking, do you have a big yard, gets you a yes or a no. But asking, tell me about your home environment, well, that gets you the whole story, about the apartment, the fact there's no yard, the park down the street, and that they work from home. One question gets you a fact. The other gets you context. This skill is required for a very good reason. And that right there is the heart of it. You're not just there to sell them something. You are a professional advisor. Your primary duty is to the long-term well-being of the animal, and using great communication is how you do right by them. Okay, now we need to talk about the part of the job that is 100% non-negotiable, the law. Every single thing you do in this role happens within a legal framework, and you've got to know it like the back of your hand. This means knowing the specific rules for your state or your territory. What paperwork do you need? What are the regulations for microchipping? How does an animal need to be transported to be safe and legal? Trust me, saying, I didn't know is not an excuse. And this slide right here shows you perfectly why this is so critical. The rules can change in a huge way just by crossing a state line. What's completely legal and standard in one place could get you into serious trouble somewhere else. You have to know the rules for where you work.
The bottom line is getting this wrong isn't just a simple mistake. It can have real, serious legal consequences for you, your workplace, and your client. In fact, your assessment for this unit will require you to complete at least 3 lawful transactions, so you'll have to prove you know how to do this by the book.
Okay, let's bring it all home with our 5th and final principle. This is about the nuts and bolts of the job, the tools, the transactions, and the records that make a professional service run smoothly.
So, this principle covers everything. It starts with recommending the right food and figuring out how much they'll need for the first month, all the way to processing the payment and, this is super important, creating a perfect record of the whole thing. You can see the flow here perfectly, right? It all connects. Your advice about the animal leads to your advice about the right products. Your math skills make sure the price is right, and your attention to detail ensures the record is spot on for anything that might come up later.
And that's exactly why it's so important. A good record is like a safety net. It helps if you need to do a follow-up call, it gives you a history if a health problem pops up, and as we just talked about, it's very often a legal requirement. So there you have it, the 5 foundational principles of ACMGEN305. You've got animal knowledge, husbandry, communication, legal compliance, and products and systems. You put all those together, and you have the complete toolkit of a competent, confident, and professional animal care advisor.
Look, mastering these principles isn't just about passing a course. It's about taking on a really profound responsibility. Every single time you give advice to a client, an animal's entire future is in your hands, shaped by your knowledge and your integrity. So the real question is, are you ready to be the expert they need you to be?